Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Psychoanalyzing characters from the NBC TV show, The Office. Today I'm going to analyze, drumroll please, our very own accountant and cat lover, Angela Morton. And obviously, Angela is a fictional character, and my assessment of her behaviors is for entertainment purposes only. But make sure you stay tuned until the very end when I reveal what, if any, diagnosis I feel fits her character. Right off the bat, I just want to say that Angela may be the most morally bankrupt character on The Office. But it's kind of a close race with Creed, if I'm honest. And now I know that is a really strong statement, but let's talk about her and some of the examples that demonstrate her lack of morals and what makes Angela who she is. And the first thing that comes to mind when considering Angela's character is how judgmental she is. She is constantly putting Kevin down, calling him stupid, and making fun of him. Not to mention how often she criticizes Pam, calling her the office mattress, and constantly making comments about how she dresses, implying that it's not appropriate. And when she finds out that Oscar is gay, she doesn't want him to touch her, and she uses hand sanitizer whenever she has to engage with him.
Sure, sometimes I watch Will and Grace, and I want to throw up. It's terribly loud.
The interesting thing about how judgmental she is that she doesn't hold herself to the same standard. She is so incredibly entitled, and when she finds out the senator is cheating on her with Oscar, she hires someone to take out Oscar's kneecaps. And even when Dwight says that they were the first ones to break her marriage vows with the senator, that doesn't deter her. She pretty much calls everyone else out for things that she also does. I mean, let's be honest. She slept with more people than Pam or Phyllis or any of the other women in the office, so why does she keep slut-shaming them? I'm not sure. It's as if she doesn't think the same rules apply to her, or that she's just innately better than everyone else. Next up is how little she cares for other people. And the biggest example of this is that she cheats on her fiancé Andy with Dwight. And even though everyone in the office finds out about it because Phyllis had walked in on her and Dwight having sex right after she got engaged to Andy, she never comes clean about it on her own.
Hey, so, since my little lady has such particular impossible to perceive taste, I have made non-refundable deposits at 4 totally different wedding locales. Hot air balloons over Napa Valley, world famous Walt Disney's Epcot Center, scuba diving wedding in the Bahamas, and the Wilkes-Barre Marriott Ballroom C.
Dangerous, tacky, sharks, haunted. No. Hurry, we have to make this fast.
Let's do this thing.
Hey! I have a nice comforter and several cozy pillows. I usually read a chapter of a book and it's lights out by 8:30. That's how I sleep at night.
Instead, she does what's best for her. She pretends it didn't happen, and even when Andy confronts her, he has to ask her multiple times and in multiple ways if she is in fact sleeping with Dwight. And she never thought about how this would make Andy feel, or even how upset Dwight might get when he found out that she was sleeping with Andy as well. Not to mention the fact that she lied about who the actual father of her child was without thinking about how that could upset Dwight or the senator. I also think it's hurtful and self-serving that she supports Andy and Dwight dueling or fighting over her. She wants the attention and therefore feels it's completely okay for Dwight and Andy to hurt each other.
Angela, you have to put a stop to this right now.
I will respect the results of the duel.
But the more I look at this, the more I think she actually might have a diagnosable mental illness. But let's see, because we aren't finished assessing her yet. Angela clearly only marries the senator because of his status, and because she believes that she should only be associated with people like him. Most of the time, she doesn't even say his name. She just calls him the senator, which is why I actually can't even remember. Oh, yeah, it's Robert. It's Robert. I think that's his name. But there are multiple moments where she acts like she's better than everyone else in the office now, as if because she married someone of status, she suddenly got better. Like, she says the Christmas party isn't nice enough for him to come to until it's the, you know, Michael's classy Christmas. And she even asked Pam if she still has the plans for her dream wedding since she and Jim had their quote-unquote ironic wedding. So rude. And that she can't invite anyone from the office to her wedding yet because she's not sure how many senators and members of Congress are going to attend, and they have to invite them first before the regular people. Ugh. And she loves the attention and status that she gets from that relationship. And she acts as though other people are jealous of her and her relationship, which is honestly why it's so just hilarious to me when the senator publicly comes out as gay and says he's in love with his chief of staff, and she's just like standing right there next to him. Oh, such a good moment. But I think that this rolls into another interesting personality trait. Angela's obsession with power, or her unfounded belief that she is powerful. And the first example of this is that she's in charge of the party planning committee. And from the very beginning, like season 1, she is terrible to other members of it. When they're planning Meredith's surprise party, Phyllis shyly recommends, you know, we could do streamers, starts rattling off color options. And since this is taking like a lot more time than it really needs to, Pam pipes up and says, let's go with green. To which Angela replies, I think green is kind of whorish. And she uses her status as the head of that committee to constantly put people down, make people feel bad, and to feel better about herself.
Phyllis, I need you to pick up green streamers at lunch.
I thought you said green was whorish.
No, orange is whorish.
So I had a couple of ideas to make the Stanford people feel more at home. Each year we have a Christmas raffle.
It would never work here.
Okay. Another idea was karaoke.
No.
A Christmas drinking game.
Yes.
God help you.
What?
These are all terrible ideas, and none of them are on the theme of a Nutcracker Christmas. I think you should leave.
You're kidding.
You tried this out. It's clearly not for you. It's time to go. Come on. Please, thank you.
And another example is how she also pushes Dwight, who's her boyfriend at the time, to talk to Jan, to tell her that he can run the branch better than Michael. And when he comes back and thinks he's in charge for that little period of time after seeing Crentis the dentist, he tells her that she can be in charge of the women. And she gives this creepy, menacing grin and then says, goodbye, Kelly Kapoor. Oh, gives me the willies. And finally, Angela is only nice to other people or calls them her quote-unquote friends when it personally benefits her. Like, for example, when Dwight mercy kills Angela's cat Sprinkles, she turns to Pam to ask if Roy ever killed one of her cats and looks for her support. Psst.
I'm having relationship problems. And since you're always having relationship problems, I thought you'd be able to give me some advice.
What's wrong?
I have this crazy thought that I know is crazy. That maybe Dwight killed my cat. When I got home, Sprinkle's body was in the freezer where Dwight said he left her. But all my bags of frozen French fries had been clawed to shreds.
Oh.
Something's not right. The vet's doing an autopsy.
Angela, I'm sorry.
Did Roy ever kill one of your cats?
I'm more of a dog person.
But as soon as she doesn't need Pam, she's terrible to her. For example, she tells Pam that she's constantly playing what she calls Pam Pong and notes how many times Jim goes up to the reception to talk to her. It's just to make her uncomfortable. And even when Jim and Pam are late to their own wedding, she agrees with Phyllis that the reason that they're late is because Pam didn't think she would actually make a good wife. Or how she judges Pam on her pregnancy and calls social services on her because she's drinking some tea that has a little bit of caffeine in it. Oh my God, Angela is just so incredibly mean to Pam. And she also does this to Dwight if you think about it. Says she loves him, then she dumps him, still sleeps with him sometimes, gets engaged to other people and married to other people. And then when her marriage to the senator isn't going well, she reaches out to him for help. She always expects him to come to her aid. She even does this to Oscar, treating him terribly for years, acting in homophobic ways. Remember, like all the hand sanitizing and telling him not to touch her, until she needs some support and somewhere to live after the divorce with the senator and then getting kicked out of her apartment. And yes, I know Oscar felt bad because he was sleeping with the senator, but she's just terrible until she needs something. And I have to mention this just because it's so incredibly odd, but she licked her cats. People, she licked, meowed, and hissed and made cat noises like you're like, what the actual fuck is going on?
Where is that bad cat? Oh, you know who you are. Excuse me, Petal. I'm looking for Mr. Ash. He's a bad cat. Bad, bad cat. Do you hear me? Bad. Yes, you are bad. No, you look at me when I talk to you. Do you hear me, Mr. Ash? You look at me. Because I'm talking to you right now.
This is getting weird.
Is she cleaning the cat with her tongue?
Oh.
Has this been on the entire time?
I have no idea.
I was looking at pictures of food on my computer.
Oh, sorry I'm late.
I want to get that image out of my head. The psychological issues that go behind licking a cat are not things I want to go into.
And she entered into a sex contract with Dwight. So crazy. And she had this punch card like you'd normally get for, you know, buying sandwiches at a sandwich shop, but she used it for sex and he would have to punch it. It's, you guys, I had to get this off my chest because it's just so incredibly bizarre. And it's odd and just part of, I guess, what makes Angela, Angela? In summation, Angela is super judgmental. She doesn't care about other people. She thinks she's better than everyone else in the office and revels in any small amount of power that she gets. Not to mention she exploits her friendships. Now, there are obviously a lot of other examples, not to mention other personality traits that make up Angela Martin. However, based on what I believe to be her main traits, I would have to diagnose her with narcissistic personality disorder because it's diagnosed as follows. A pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy, beginning in early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts by 5 or more of the following. Number 1, has a grandiose sense of self-importance. Number 2, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Number 3, believes he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with special or high status people, such as the senator. Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Number 5, has a sense of entitlement. Number 6, is interpersonally exploitive, like exploiting her friendships. Number 7, lacks empathy or is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Number 8, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of her. And number 9, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. And finally, keep in mind that this is just for entertainment purposes, and I would need to see Angela for at least 6 months, ideally a year, in order to rule out other diagnoses and ensure that narcissistic personality disorder was the appropriate diagnosis. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think her diagnosis is? Do you think MPD fits? Let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.